Hello and welcome to another edition of Bombchu News. My name is Chris, I'm joined by Andron, and today we'll be covering the news that we found interesting.
The team behind the Just Cause series, Avalanche Studios, have revealed their newest game, Generation Zero. The game puts players into a reimagined version of Sweden in the 1980s as you battle against sinister robots who had invaded the countryside. The gameplay appears to be first-person, although the trailer shows some third-person perspectives, which makes me think there could be some swapping similar to Fallout. The real meat of the game was revealed on Avalanche Studios' website, and there's a lot to pick through. To start, this is the first self-published title, which gives them a lot of freedom. The game director Emil Kraftling describes Generation Zero as a guerrilla action game since player strategy is not to immediately attack full-on, but rather cripple the robot over time to eventually defeat it. This mechanic is painted clearer as there is a persistence of damage. According to Avalanche Studios, if you damage or destroy a specific enemy component such as a weapon system or piece of armor, that damage is permanent. If you happen to encounter that same robot again at a later time, that part will still be damaged, allowing for an easier time once you prepared. To top it all off, the game supports 1 to 4 players in seamless co-op while running around in an open-world sandbox which we know the studio has lots of experience in. My excitement aside, Generation Zero is set to launch in 2019 for the PC, PS4, and Xbox One.
Dead or Alive 6 has been officially announced. A short trailer for the game was also released via an IGN exclusive reveal, which also gave us a release window of early 2019. The trailer shows off a few familiar faces fighting it out in colorful and varied arenas, and even shows some of the new features like super moves. The game will also feature a new special button that seems to work like the auto combo feature in Dragon Ball FighterZ. By simply mashing the special button, players will execute what's called a Fatal Rush, which is a short but reliable combo attack. This will allow players new to DOA or even fighting games in general to pull off something that looks flashy and does damage. So far, developer Team Ninja has revealed that series regulars Kasumi, Hayate, Ryu Hayabusa, Helena, Jan Lee, and Zack would all be returning, with more characters both new and old to be revealed over time. While I've never been a dedicated fan of the series, I've always had fun with every Dead or Alive game I've played, and DOA 6 is already looking like it's going to continue that trend. Dead or Alive 6 is set to release in early 2019.
After many questionable releases due to Valve's publishing policy for Steam, Valve has stepped out to reiterate its stance. In May, Valve attempted to crack down on some of the games on their platform after noticing pornographic and hate-inspiring titles were littering their system. After removing some that matched these problems perfectly, and some visual novels that didn't deserve to be removed, Valve repealed their actions and backpedaled this more aggressive stance. In a blog post on June 6 titled Who Gets to Be on the Steam Store, Valve shed some light on their newest approach. After confirming to readers that there is no automation involved in the approval process and that Valve employees do look through every submission that they can, the post continued to address what their new stance is and what their struggles were on reaching it. To paraphrase the post, quote, "The challenge is that this problem is not simply whether or not the Steam store should contain games with adult or violent content. Instead, it's about whether the store contains games with an entire range of controversial topics. We ended up going back to one of the principles in the forefront of our minds when we started Steam, and more recently as we worked on Steam Direct to open up the store to many developers. Valve shouldn't be the ones deciding this. If you're a player, we shouldn't be choosing for you what content you can or can't buy. If you're a developer, we shouldn't be choosing what content you're allowed to create. With that principle in mind, we've decided that the right approach is to allow everything onto the Steam store, except for things that we decide is illegal or straight up trolling." End quote. This topic has been debated time and time again, while internet personalities such as Jim Sterling have voiced utter disdain over how Valve Steam Direct works. However, as a creator and a writer myself, I have to say that Valve's moderation approach does speak to me in some way. Valve made a bold move by stating they will allow essentially everything, so I'm interested to see what new or horrible games come to Steam following this.
Hitman 2 has been officially revealed. Earlier this week, a logo for Hitman 2 was leaked, and now Warner Bros. Games and developer IO Interactive have officially announced that Hitman 2 will be coming this year. A short trailer was released, showing Agent 47 tracking a target during a race in Miami. We see Agent 47 use a variety of methods to take out the target, including sabotaging the wheels of the target's car, planting a bomb on the car, or the old-fashioned way of simply sniping him during the race. WB Games also offered some additional details on the game. Unlike the previous entry, Hitman 2 will not be episodic, instead releasing as a single complete game like older entries in the series. Also revealed was a new standalone co-op mode called Sniper Assassin, where 2 players work together to try and snipe multiple targets. Sniper Assassin is also available now for anyone who pre-orders the game. 2016's Hitman was a lot of fun, and the sequel is already looking like it's going to be just as great. Hitman 2 will be released for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC on November 13th. Well, that's all the news that we found interesting today. Let us know what you thought about it down in the comments below, and we'll see you next time.